Hey y'all, welcome back to Why'd You Buy That? This is number 4 in the series where I try to explain to my girlfriend, to anyone who cares, why I am spending money on certain sports cards and those ones that mean something to me in my collection, and um, just give context behind what these things represent beyond just the cardboard and the ink. So it's the question that I get the most from people outside the hobby. It's also the one I enjoy most talking with collectors. Maybe we can learn something from each other when we, dig into what really um, sticks out to us in certain cards and how those things land once they're actually in the PC. So without further ado, I will jump in here to today's installment, which is my personal favorite pitcher to collect and second favorite player to collect. Honestly, some days he's my favorite player to collect, but since I started with Jackie and just view him as so important to the hobby, and to baseball history, to American history, I just think Jackie is hard to displace. But I do think I actually own more things related to Satchel Paige than Jackie. That might be because Jackie's so expensive, and Paige is often not as expensive. So, all that being said, when I was in Little League, I remember watching the baseball documentary and loved the inning on the Negro Leagues and was blown away that all these players were not featured in my Beckett price guides, were not in the record books, the baseball trivia that I had memorized as a kid, basically. And Satch was one where, he was the figurehead of the Negro Leagues, of Black baseball. He did more in terms of integration than he will ever get credit for, mostly because his talent, his showmanship, his charisma all contributed to essentially white America seeing the value in Black baseball athletes. They ultimately accepted Jackie as the first, and he, did an incredible yeoman's work carrying so much to be said there, but he's carrying so much weight on his shoulders and still performed at the highest level, winning MVP in his second full season. He impossible to understate or overstate how much impact Jackie had. Paige, on the other hand, doesn't get talked about as much. He was a later entrant. I believe he was fourth or fifth Black player, no, at least fifth or sixth, maybe, to make it to the major leagues. He was also the second Black player to make it into the Hall of Fame, thanks to his incredible talent, but also some of the, I guess you would call it, calling out of the Baseball Writers Association by Ted Williams, where Ted wanted, he felt that it was in his own Hall of Fame induction speech worthwhile to shout out that it's a travesty that Satchel Paige is not in the Hall of Fame. Took him a few years, but they eventually got him in. And this was just a couple of years after that. This set, 1976, Goof's Pants, Tulsa Oilers team set. This was a minor league team. Satch was a coach on the team. He had just been inducted in the Hall of Fame in 1972, I believe. So 4 years after that, and a couple of years after the Laughlin set, which was, really just the fourth main issue of a card from featuring Satchel Paige. His first, the 48 Leaf, the 39 or the 49 Bowman, and then the 53 Tops. He then got the 74 Laughlin, and then this came next. You could also say, I think there's a Shakey's Pizza in there, but this Goof's Pants is the one that jumps out to me more. I say all that, and the 72 Puerto Rico sticker is also out there, but I guess that's not a card, that's a sticker. So, and okay, I'm just I should have prepped more, but the 67 Topps Red Dorado, of course, a beautiful card, but not an American release. That was released in Venezuela and probably wasn't even discovered by 1976 in most American collector circles. So, Satchel Paige, Hall of Famer, icon of the sport, of Black culture, of American culture. He is featured here as an older man on basically an advertisement release, similar to the Babe Ruth rookie cards where they have all these different ad backs. This was a release where they tried to, I guess, drive traffic to Goof's factory outlet in Tulsa, Oklahoma, by featuring the entire minor league team on basically a team bag you could order, and it also included an autograph if you'd like. You could choose to not get an autographed version of this card, but you could. I think most people chose the autographed version, and therefore, like, the unautographed is almost more difficult to find. But you could get. It was the same price too. That was actually interesting. It was like both $5 for the team set, autographed or not. And it would include Satchel Paige and also Paul Daffy Dean. I always get Daffy and Dizzy Dean confused, but Daffy Dean autograph card as well, who was the other coach on the team. There are not too many of these. I'm going to look this up in the background while I talk about it, because I really should know what is the pop on this. I don't believe there is any 8 or a 10s. This being a 9 is actually the third I've owned. Yes, this is a Pop 3 0 10s. And let's take a look at the total pop. Total pop is 17 on this card. And we haven't even seen the best part yet. So this includes the autograph. In my opinion, you could say this is one of the first pack pulled autographs. Obviously, it wasn't randomly inserted, but it was it was intended to be signed. So one of the first non-aftermarket autographed baseball cards. I think the first, in my opinion, would be the exhibit from I think it was the San Francisco Seals in 36 or 34. There was some, I think it was also a pant company, but some type of advertisement release featuring Joe DiMaggio, and you could get that autographed as intended from the distributor or the manufacturer. So that was probably the first. This was maybe the second, and then of course the Reggie Jackson being the from 1990 Upper Deck being the true first pack pulled, randomly inserted, nationally distributed card. So this is important in the hobby history, one of his main card issues. And finally, we will get to my favorite part, which is on the back. It includes his rules for life. I think we should just read the whole thing. Possibly the greatest pitcher in the history of baseball, had his professional debut with the Chattanooga Black Lookouts, a team you never hear about, in 1927. Major League debut in 1948, and it was the first night game. That's right. Drew a then record night game crowd of 78,000 people. Okay, and then he was elected in 1971. I got that off by a year. All right, his 6 rules for a happy life, which were also included on his business cards for the Cincinnati minor league team. Maybe the Redlegs. I can't remember what they were called, but Redbirds. I don't. Look up the business card. It's a great little buy for $300 or $400. You can get it autographed, and it includes his 6 rules for life. This is more like anywhere from $700 to $2,000. I probably overpaid a bit on this given some recent comps, because I then sold my 8. That's right. I bought my 8 for like $1,800, sold it for $1,000 at auction, which sucked. I should have if I knew that was going to happen, I would have kept it, but that's the auction risk. But this 9, I think I paid $1,900 for. Anyways, avoid fried meats which angry up the blood. If your stomach disputes you, lie down and pacify it with cool thoughts. Keep the juices flowing by jangling around gently as you move. Go very light on vices such as carrying on in society. The social ramble ain't restful. Avoid running at all times. Don't look back. Something may be gaining on you. So amazing that these are the essentials to a happy life in his views. There's so many things that are left off, and funny things that are included. Fried meats being one, but he was a whole food kind of paleo keto type before that was a thing. And then I do really love the go very light on vices such as carrying on in society. The social ramble ain't restful. That is something that we all need to continually be reminded of. And I think oftentimes the superstars, it could be very easy for them to go heavy on the vices. And I assume his success and endurance was hinged heavily on him going light on those, the alcohol and the gambling and, drugs and whatnot. But also he almost makes a point here that's just keeping up with the Joneses. And I think in the hobby, we can often feel that pressure, and I certainly fall trap to it. But this is a good reminder on a baseball card to not think that way and just enjoy what you have and why you, and collect what you like. Obviously, the most oversaid thing in the hobby. Okay, so that's the story of this card. Thank you for watching. I will be back with another installment tomorrow. I'm going to try to do this every day leading up to the National, and I hope to hear from you guys in the comments if you want to be included, or any suggestions, additional questions I need to answer, ways to convince someone that this is a good card and worth the money. And I appreciate the time. I'll see you soon. Please like and subscribe. Helps me reach more collectors, which I want to do with this channel. So thanks.